Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Stock, and in this video we're doing some technical analysis on three huge companies that have a lot of potential moving forward, and some of that hype is finally passed for their recent news. So we get to take a look at where support is, where resistance is, and where we have possible buy and sell zones, depending on how, if you choose to play these things, you can play them. Before we get started, take a look down in the description for the Moo link. By clicking that link on my channel, you can sign up, deposit $100 or more, and get up to 17 free stocks. Here's all it takes. You deposit $100 or more and you get 7 free stocks, including 2 AI draws. The offer does expire, so make sure you take advantage of that soon. Also, if you deposit $1,000 or more, you get 17 free stocks, still including those 2 AI draws. So you're supporting yourself while supporting this channel, and helps me to bring more news and information to you throughout the stock market and looking for those financial opportunities. Also, while you're looking down in the description, find that link for the Patreon. Click on that link, sign up, you get access to my Patreon exclusive content, and you can be a member of my private Discord community that I have over there and interact with me and my other community members. And it also is another way to help support this channel. If you do like this video, please remember that like, subscribe, and notification bell. Click those things, like to like it, subscribe to see more, and notification bell to be notified anytime that my videos come out. With that said, I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Let's get right into the content. All right, the first stock that I want to take a look at today is Apple, which recently Goldman Sachs came out and put a $200 12-month price target on. We're going to have to watch and see if that does happen. Now, Apple, I do believe, is a company that is just doing astounding things with furthering the integration across their different platforms that they have, whether it's the Mac computers, which I'm currently recording this on right now. I got myself an M1 Mac Studio, and I can tell you, for content creation, I'm so happy with my purchase over what I was using before. What I was using before was my MacBook Pro, but it was an older one that was not on Apple silicone. I don't want to get too much into the technical details, but I do want to say I also have their iPhone, and the point is, across all these devices, they are pushing seamless integration, and what that does for people who join the Apple side of things is, well, it feeds more into their products and services. And that could be something that over time really helps to keep on feeding the growth machine that is Apple. It's one of the reasons that they have one of the largest market caps in all of the stock market. So Apple is a company that, if you're looking for some reasonable amount of safety, they got a lot of moat around them, and they're not going to be toppled anytime soon, in my opinion. So let me go over to their charts, because I did say this is technical analysis, but it is worth throwing out a little bit of the fundamental information that's in there. I wanted to zoom way out first so you could see the path that they were on. Now let's grab some horizontal lines here. And I think it's worthwhile, given their more recent price action and what we've had. We have a half-decent floor right about here, right at about a little over $132. Where did I place that thing? Ooh, I even used purple. Let's change that color just so a little bit easier to see on your screens, even though purple is my favorite color. So that comes in right at about $130, $135, where we see about that floor so far. Let's put out another horizontal line a little bit lower than that, and right about there. So not only does it touch the 200-day simple moving average for support, but we also have some other times where we see, yeah, we peekabooed up over that, but you can see the hesitation and the stuttering. So that is also a very critical level for us. And where does that come in? That comes in at about $122. So in even the more recent worst of times that we've had, there was really strong support found there. Now, mind you, the market also started turning at that point in time, which shows us about the market influence that it has on Apple's price. So if we see the market draw down, like let's say that we enter some sort of serious recessionary times, even if it's a mild recession and the market draws down, Apple's going to draw down with it. And it's one of those companies that we want to have on our radars, and you want to take the time to put your research in to make your own decisions. And maybe part of your decisions is deciding on Apple. Being one of the big companies, why not take advantage of something that actually has that sort of market leadership position with enormous economic moat, and looking for those opportunities. Now, I did say that I would also talk about resistance. So let me get rid of some of these support lines that we have. There we go. Perfect. Click on that one. We'll delete that one. And to our horizontal line, we have this very, very firm table right at like the mid 150s. When we look at, and when I say table, I mean tabletop, like we could set a pretty even line right across there. Not only have we retested resistance for that 1, 2, 3, 4 times in recent market history, but you can also see the hesitation and stuttering that we've had. Here we tested it a couple times. It kind of peekabooed over it. Over here, when we look at the areas where we have support, let me get rid of the crosshairs because they can be distracting. You can see, again, more hesitation, not necessarily stop, but over here, going all the way back to, let's bring my crosshairs back for a moment, all the way back to 2021. There's something very significant about the price action that we have, and maybe you can see it in the distribution of chips that's over here, that there's a lot of people who are already in the green at these areas. So maybe that's where you encounter some selling pressure where people are locking in profits on that, locking in gains. Now, as far as Goldman Sachs 12-month price target of $200, I want to draw your attention right here. I'll circle it with my cursor. That's $181.60. That is the all-time highest price for Apple. So do I think they're going to hit the 200? Honestly, I think it would take strong market bias that we'd have to have the next bull run in order to hit that. So if Goldman Sachs sees that happening in the next 12 months, I could probably see that as well. However, if we stay bearish for a little while longer, or if we're in the midst of a recession during those times, I don't know that Apple stock gets there. So this is one that we want to see the stock price. If we are people who want to get an opportunity to invest, we want to see this get beat up a little bit from where it's at. If we start buying in right now, especially, well, we'll talk for just trading first. If this is something that you're looking for the price to go up, you don't have very much room. You have about 3% that you can have that price go before running into resistance. And maybe that's good enough for you based on whatever it is that your trading goals are. So for me, I think Apple would be one that would be worth serious consideration, especially as the market weakness comes along and we start selling off. We do have the 200-day nearby that could be excellent near-term support for us at about 147. And then we have the 50-day, which you can see we've fallen through quite a few times now. Not as strong as sports 200-day, right around 140. And like I said, when we start to see those values, if we see those values come back down, and company news aside, I don't think that Apple is going to change course anytime soon for that. Now, mind you, I'm not a fortune teller. Although I do have a crystal ball, it is still broken. And right now, despite the tight labor market conditions, we're still short in the fortune teller crystal ball repair department. All right, let's move over to our friend Tesla. Now, when we look at Tesla, we're still in that downtrend actually on their price. You can see we haven't put in a new higher high in Tesla since the market recovered. Yeah, there's a lot of buying. You can see all this volume. It's a hotly traded stock right now. And in the RSI, depending on which one you go with, we are losing momentum on this stock and can see that through the rounded top that we have. So this thing did peak out right at around 212-ish, 214-ish is where we found resistance for Tesla stock, and that actually goes along with, let's grab some more horizontal lines, what we have about right here. And like I said, 212, 214, and we're actually sitting on support right at about 190. And yesterday we closed, let me see, get my cursor there. I should probably zoom in more for this. Looks like we closed at 187, so it experienced about a 3% drop. This is another one moving with the market. So if we experience a lot of market weakness, assuming that Tesla's demand holds out, that their growth story holds out, that all of that stuff is expected to come back with the strength of the market, that their sales continue, that their margins continue, even if they do shrink a little bit, especially if the economy does go into a recession and they have to dip into their pricing power a little bit to cut into their margins a little bit in order to keep demand going. They have the room to do that. And so that's one of the reasons why I believe, being the top EV play and the tech company that they're actually sitting, holy cow, at a really critical level of support right here. That should we fall through 190, our next strongest area of support that we have is actually looking about where the 50-day is at about 160. So if I was going to jump in now expecting that sort of upside, I don't know that we would see it. Like I said, if the market turns around, like if CPI and PPI come in excitingly good for us, then possibly we see the market rally, we see Tesla turn around and retest resistance, and then depending on what sort of strength we would get from that, possibly break through it. Now, we did just hear from the Fed, and we did hear about the aggressive stance that they're willing to take if the data continue to show that their fight on inflation is reversing course. And so, well, we don't want to see that either. Now, let's talk about support for a moment. Grab some more horizontal lines here. They are my favorite form of support and resistance to take a look at. So I'll put that one on there. And then let's grab another one. And when we look at the more recent lows, and again, you want to think area of support more so than support lines. Lines are just easy. So just because there's a line on there doesn't mean that you can't break through it. So down here, I think, is where we find that most critical support in the near term. So about 130 all the way down to about $100. So seeing those lows again when the market was at its most recent worst for that, and then you could see the rise that it's taken along with the market moving up. When that buying comes back, Tesla moves with it. So Tesla, I believe, has that opportunity. They still are on that sort of downtrend. And when the market does turn around, Tesla is also, in my opinion, going to turn around with it. Never investment advice, just my thoughts on the matter. And then you're welcome to weigh in with your thoughts. That's exactly what they're there for. Now, NVIDIA, absolutely my favorite AI play that's on the market. But that doesn't mean I'm about to jump in and buy it right now, because besides these areas over here, I mean, yeah, we did peak out at 346. We've had some issues with chip shortages, and we've had some issues with bans on what they're allowed to sell AI-wise to China. They got some headwinds ahead of them yet. I don't think that they're going to hold this. Now, maybe if the market were to rally, it's going to make a liar out of me. However, if the market does experience some weakness, then NVIDIA stock price is also going to experience some weakness. Now, let's look right here. Not only are we touching the 50-day, coming down to this price, but we're also setting across this neckline of the inverse head and shoulders pattern that we had. That, you know, I thought I made a video about this, but actually I think I just remarked about it on Moo. They actually have a neat chat app over there, and actually their news is pretty good too. And Moo is what I'm using right now. So for that, falling down to about the mid 190s, you know, we could possibly see that happen for NVIDIA. And for me, I would like to see a little bit more weakness coming to the price to look for that better opportunity. Call me a cheapskate if you will, but I can't help myself but want that maximum upside potential. Now, looking down at this support, right at about 138. So that I don't think NVIDIA does that on its own. That would be negative news for NVIDIA. But if NVIDIA does that with market bias, that we have the downward pressure in the markets themselves, then I think that we could find those areas of support. Now, mind you, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the 200-day that we have right here, right at about 164. So I don't want to buy when these things are at the top. Let me actually jump out of this for a moment. There we go. So about humans. Humans do not like uncertainty. Humans like confirmation. So let's put this back in a middle school perspective. So there you are, that little tiny middle schooler with those raging hormones, and there's somebody that you like. But you don't want to tell them that you like them because you don't know if they're going to like you back. So you spend days, weeks, months liking this person, sort of hinting that you like them, maybe in your awkward teenage way. However, you never tell them because you're uncertain. You're too afraid of what would happen if you were to actually take that chance. So that's what it's like when the market is on its way down, when the market's at its bottom. Now, mind you, you don't want to catch a falling knife. So if something's dropping, you don't want to try and catch it then. That's one of the reasons dollar cost averaging can be so powerful. Instead of going all in when something's on its way down and then, you know, missing it and then selling when it's at its bottom, because that happens over and over and over again. Instead, that dollar cost averaging idea that you buy little bits at a time at regular intervals, that can be something that evens out any sort of losses. It does on the other side even out some gains, but that risk management, being able to still have your cash so you still have skin in the game, is something that is going to keep your portfolio alive, and it's going to allow you to experience upside if you make the right decisions. That's what I have for my commentary. These three stocks, I think, even though they're up towards their high points, it won't be long until they start coming back down. So people like to watch these videos when the stocks are hyping, when the stocks are moving. Well, to me, if you're watching that hype happen, oftentimes you've already sort of missed it. It's like confirmation's in, it's up, it's gold, buy. And then you can say buy to your cash, because oftentimes that's about the time that it peaks and then it comes back down. Sometimes you're lucky and it does experience some more upside. And I know that there's a lot of people who trade these things rather than invest these things. And I have my own thoughts and ideas based off of very famous investors and some very sound advice, but that's another video for another time. Thank you guys for listening to my commentary. I really appreciate it if you stuck it out this long. Don't forget, down in the description, grab that link for the Patreon, click it, sign up, come on over and get access to my Patreon exclusive content, as well as my community that I have over there through my private Discord. Also, those stocks from Moo. Sign up. There's like zero risk here to your capital. By signing up, depositing your money, it's still your money, and you get free stocks on top of it. And as a benefit, because you're the kind-hearted person that you are, it also benefits this channel, allowing me to come here more often and talk with you guys and share more of my thoughts, ideas, and perspectives surrounding finance. So thank you guys very much for watching this. Like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. I'm Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. We'll see you in the next video.